Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope y'all can't see my missing lashes from here, but I didn't really want to like get ready or nothing. I just wanted to record. Like I just did some research about a little bit of something and I just really want to talk about it and I really want to post a video. So I'm just gonna go out and post it. Today's video is gonna be about depression. We're gonna be explaining what depression is and basically seeing it through a different perspective. Also, y'all, I have my notebook here, of course. I have really bad memory, so it's really hard for me to like talk from my head. So I'll be writing it down. I literally have a whole script. Like I'll just be writing it down so I can be better with my words and be better with my process of thinking. The title of today's video is Depression is a Blessing in Disguise. And as somebody who was depressed from 12 to around 16, 17, I can say that I lived a lot of my life in depression. And the difference from then and now, just by, not even just by knowing this, but before learning this today, I was already implementing it into my life. So all this stuff really came together for me once I was writing it down and just watching videos and understanding it more. So what is depression? Depression is known as a condition associated with the lowering of a person's mood, interests, thoughts in life. When I was depressed, I wanted to be in my room all the time. I had a lot of anxiety. If y'all hear noise outside, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try to talk louder so y'all can't hear that. I thought they was done. Throughout my life, I did have a lot of like mood swings. I got really unmotivated for a lot of stuff. I didn't feel like I hated my body. I hated myself and stuff like that. So a lot of people can relate. A lot of people, depression runs in different ways because there are different like versions of depression, but they're all the same thing. So that's what we're gonna get into. So nowadays we see our mental health as science and data that continuously put labels and concepts to define internal and abstract states of being. So in high school, I had a counseling and mental health class, and we learned all about labels and depression, bipolar disorder, like all the mental illnesses and all the labels that society uses, that doctors use. Like depression is a label. Our life, all our anxiety, that's a label. Bipolar disorder, that's a label for internal states of being. Like they just labels our internal states. Depression is the label we gave for the state of sadness or numbness. When we feel too sad, when we feel too numb, we feel depressed. That's the label that we put on our internal state of being. We've been taught that we can't control depression, and a lot of people see it as a disease a lot of us are meant to go through. So depression is merely just a symptom of someone that feels like they aren't living life the way they truly want to live it. Depression could be caused by the way you live, your thoughts, physically, words, etc. But a lot of us have been programmed by society, by fear, by expectations. That's where a lot of our depression comes from. A lot of depression can come from your external people as well, like family. If you live with family that constantly make you think in a negative state, because sometimes it is hard to control. It depends how weak your mindset is and how much you know yourself. A few years ago, I let so much of my family get under my skin, which led to my depression a lot because I felt like I was misunderstood. I felt like I was being judged. I felt like I did feel loved because love comes in different ways, but it came from the ego. Like now that I'm seeing it, it comes from ego. But I also had another realization that you can't just try to get rid of that ego, because that ego is what makes us feel so attacked, makes us feel so, but you just have to realize that you have to nurture that as well as your soul. Depression is a state of ego because ego is fear, anxiety, depression, humiliation. Like that's all ego. So once you realize that you can't be attacked, that your emotions, that you can't control everything within you, Nothing can make you depressed, because that is just a state of mind. That is just a state of being, just because you're constantly being that state. Like, once you get out of that and realize that you are in control always, you are the creator of your reality. Once you start thinking differently, moving differently, and going towards what you want and not what you don't want and what other people want for you, that's going to make you more depressed. Like, you have to go to what you want, not what nobody expects you to be, not what nobody think you're going to be, what you want to be and who you are. Depression isn't an enemy, it's an alarm. Don't run, suppress, or numb it. I ran from my depression. I saw my depression as kind of something to be scared of, because my depression, the way I coped with it, I self-harmed. And that was me numbing it. I thought that was me numbing my mental pain by causing physical pain. But that makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's no reason to do it. It's literally no reason to do it. No matter if you feel like you have to do it, there's literally no reason for you to self-harm in any type of way. You have to listen to your depression and understand why it's there. Once you realize that and go into it, you will realize that there's the answer to why. There's the answer to the depression in you, not nobody else, in you. Ask yourself, how do I feel and why do I feel like this? A lot of people don't question themselves, so they end up following paths that they don't choose. You don't question your external world. You don't question why. Therefore, you continue to live life that people keep planting for you. Plant your own seeds. Depression can take over everything, but that's only because you're letting it. Your body was meant to heal, and your mind was designed to transform. You're not broken, therefore you do not need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Your depression does not define you. Depression is not what you think it is. It's not you. It's just an internal state of being. And most of the time, it's reflected by our outside, it's reflected by people around us, reflected by our environment. But it gets worse when we engage in that, when we inhabit that, when we become that. That is just the state of being. Don't be it. Be what you want. If you want to be happy, be happy. Be happy. All you need to do is unlearn and peel back the layers of fear, expectation, and doubt that you've been taught throughout your whole life. And it's not just, we get depressed about so much stuff. We get depressed when we don't have money. We get depressed when we Like I said, it's a state of being. But once you stop seeing it like that, you won't be that, you know? So once you start unlearning and peeling back those layers, you will peel back all the fears that you once had. You will peel back those expectations. You will peel back the doubts. And once you peel back all that, you will find the real you, the one who was never broken, because you were never broken. You were just in an eternal state of being that felt so hard to get out of, but it's not. It's really not, I promise you. You have complete control over yourself, over your body. When you are depressed, that's your body telling you that you're living life that you don't want to live. Like, you're engaging into a life in a state of being that physically and mentally feels wrong. Like, you feel the worst. You feel disgusting. You feel da-da-da-da. Once you realize you aren't a victim to your emotions and you are the creator of your reality, you will begin to see and perceive a lot of things really differently. Because right now, even just my I perceive a lot of stuff differently now, just from my spiritual viewing and perspective of life. And the way I see depression now is exactly what I'm saying. Back then, I thought my life was over. Like, I literally thought I was going to K-word myself. I thought my life was going to be like this the rest of my life. I thought that I would never be able to escape it, but that's only because I felt like I wasn't going to be able to escape it. Don't let this data and science and all that other stuff and all this other stuff that people saying about depression dictate how your depression go. Depression is the same thing. It's still an internal state of being, but your internal state is not the same as their internal state. So how you see your depression is how you will see it. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to fight your depression, because like I said, it's an alarm. It's meant to be there to show you that you are living something that you are not meant to live. And it's okay. You don't need to self-harm. You don't need to become cold-hearted. You don't need to become da-da-da-da. Determine what made you get into that depression. Depict that experience and just realize that it wasn't what you think it was. See it for what it truly is and not for your emotions, not by your emotions. Don't try to sugarcoat nothing for you to feel better. See it for what it exactly is. Depict it, react to it, and realize that it will pass. It will pass. It will pass. It will always pass. Once you stop thinking you're depressed, you won't be. Once you stop living life in your depression, you won't be. Once you start moving towards what you want, start thinking about what you want, start moving how you want, that will happen. You will get that. Your depression will not be there, because it's just an eternal state of being. I know for somebody who's watching this and it's probably like, no, like my depression literally feels like da-da-da. I want you to watch this video again and really listen. We live in there's a lot of dogmatism around, which is people living by one belief and not, or living by a certain da-da-da and not actually trying to understand another point of view. Learning about dogmatism in philosophy really helped me realize that a lot of people are dogmatic. Like, they will literally force themselves to not understand. If you have a blinkered mind, a small mind, a closed mind, how are you gonna be able to navigate anything? Like, I feel like people who have limited minds and closed minds, there's like, it's just blockage from something. They're scared of something, and I can't control that. That's them. But my loves, I really wanted to make this video because our society is a society of a lot of depression, a lot of sadness, a lot of trapped energy, a lot of, just dysfunction in our own self. And it's like depression and anxiety are two main emotions or states of being that affect us in the long run and how our external world goes. All of us are worried about what everybody else doing and what everybody else and we're not worried about us. I worry about myself first, and I make sure I know everything that I need to know first before I even get to telling people about it. I'm starting YouTube to give a voice of stuff like this, to open a new world for a lot of people. And especially, I know a lot of my followers and the people that watch my videos are like my family and stuff like this. And a lot of my family are very dogmatic. And that personally has nothing to do with me. I don't care, because that's not my life. They already lived their life and they continue to live in a programmed life. That is not me. And I'm perfectly fine with that. They're still my family. I still love them. They still them. We're just on a different life journey. Like I said, for me, a big thing is being who I want to be. I'm not ever gonna let my family dictate who I will be in my life, because they already lived their life. It doesn't matter if it's my dad or my mama, my grandma. Yes, I listen to them. Yes, I love them, but they not gonna tell me how to live my life. Especially now that I'm 18. And that's the thing. You don't really get that. A lot of people don't really get that freedom until they're 18, or until they get away from that state, until they get away from that environment that gave them that internal state of being. It's really harder when it's family, but you got to realize that you're not here for them. You're here for them, but you're not here for them. You're here for you. You're here for your life, your soul's journey, and your life's purpose. You are meant to find that, not them, you. Don't let nobody dictate who you have to be, who you are, and what you have to do. Whatever you feel like is the best thing for you, for your highest good, for your biggest accomplishments, for your biggest successes, do it for you. But do it out of love. Do it from your soul and not from your ego, because there is a difference. You have to nourish your ego, but you also there is a difference. Because if you live by your ego, that's when you live by fear, anxiety, PTSD, depression, da da da. When you live by your soul, you live by love, kindness, see everything for what it truly is. There's no good or bad, da 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 da. So living through your soul and living through your ego is two different things, but they're both here. You have to keep them connected. You have to realize that they're just fusing together. They have to fuse, not just go separately. That's a lot of what I see in this world. I see people ego and soul. I see people's souls first, but as soon as they start talking or start acting or start da 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 da, I know it's their ego and they're like this, and I just see it like this. But it's meant to be here, meant to be intertwining, because they're all us. They're just all human aspects. We all have an ego, we all have a soul. So once they're intertwined and we start living by both of them and start nourishing both of them through love, life will be so much easier. Living through ego will only cause more fear, more anxiety, more humiliation, more pride. Like, who wants that? And a lot of people want it. A lot of people want power. A lot of people want money. And they think it's by this material world. But no, it all comes from your internal state of being. So if you're constantly in that depression state, your life is going to be full of stuff that's going to keep making you depressed. So change your state of being. Change who you want to be. Change how you want to feel. Understand how you're feeling first, and then change how you want to feel. And yes, y'all, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I love yapping, y'all, and especially about this topic, because it's always been something I wanted to talk about, but I never knew how I would talk about it. And now that I'm in a different state of mind, I can talk about it in a more uplifting way. Like, I never saw depression as this before. When I was living it, I never saw it as this. But now I know what it was. So yes, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I should be posting another video after this one, either tomorrow, yeah, probably tomorrow, about anxiety. So stay tuned for that. And I'm really glad, if you stayed the whole video, I'm really glad that you stayed and wanted to hear what I had to say. I love you all. You are so much more than you ever could think you are. Like, you are everything. So be everything. I love you guys.